Hey there, fellow gardeners. Welcome back to Soil Stories, your go-to channel for all things gardening, soil health, and sustainable living. Today I'm about to share a little-known trick that will transform the way you look at those piles of dry leaves in your yard. Imagine pouring a simple homemade solution over dry leaves and waking up to find them turning into rich, living compost overnight. Sounds like magic? Stick around, because I'm going to show you exactly how to make this happen, step by step. Let's start with the basics. Dry leaves are everywhere in the fall and most people see them as a nuisance, but for gardeners like us, they're a gold mine. Dry leaves are packed with carbon, which is essential for creating balanced compost. When combined with nitrogen-rich materials, they break down into a nutrient-rich amendment that your plants will absolutely love. But here's the catch. Dry leaves can take months, even years, to decompose on their own. That's where our secret ingredient comes in. So, what's the secret to turning dry leaves into living compost overnight? It's something called compost tea. Compost tea is a liquid extract made by steeping finished compost in water, sometimes with a little molasses or other natural food sources to feed the beneficial microbes. This tea is teeming with life, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and more, all ready to jumpstart the decomposition process. When you pour compost tea over dry leaves, you're essentially inoculating them with a microbial army that gets to work right away. Making compost tea at home is easier than you might think. All you need is a bucket, some finished compost, water, and a little patience. Start by filling a 5-gallon bucket about a third of the way with good, mature compost. Add water until the bucket is nearly full, and stir it well. If you want to supercharge your tea, add a tablespoon of unsulfured molasses to feed the microbes. Let the mixture steep for 24 to 48 hours, stirring occasionally. When it's ready, strain out the solids and you've got yourself a batch of powerful compost tea. Now comes the fun part. Take your freshly brewed compost tea and pour it generously over your pile of dry leaves. Make sure the leaves are spread out in a thin layer so the tea can soak in evenly. You'll notice the leaves start to darken as they absorb the liquid. This is the beginning of the transformation. The microbes in the tea immediately get to work, breaking down the tough leaf fibers and kick-starting the composting process. So, what can you expect to see overnight? While the leaves won't turn into finished compost in just one night, you'll be amazed at how quickly they start to break down. By the next morning the leaves will be noticeably softer, darker, and already starting to decompose. The microbial activity generates heat, which speeds up the process even more. In just a few days, you'll have a pile of partially composted leaves that are well on their way to becoming rich, crumbly humus. Let's talk science for a moment. Composting is all about creating the right environment for microbes to thrive. Dry leaves alone don't have enough moisture or microbial life to break down quickly. By adding compost tea, you're introducing billions of beneficial organisms and the moisture they need to get started. These microbes break down complex carbon compounds in the leaves, turning them into simpler substances that plants can use. It's nature's recycling system at its finest. If you want the best results, here are a few tips. First, shred your dry leaves before adding the compost tea. Smaller pieces break down faster and more evenly. Second, make sure your pile stays moist but not soggy. If it dries out, the microbes will go dormant. If it's too wet, you risk creating anaerobic conditions that can slow things down. Finally, turn the pile every few days to keep oxygen flowing and the decomposition process humming along. Even experienced gardeners can make mistakes when composting dry leaves. One common error is using leaves that have been treated with pesticides or herbicides, which can kill beneficial microbes. Another is letting the pile get too dry or too wet. And don't forget to use finished compost for your tea. Unfinished compost can introduce weed seeds or pathogens. Stick to these guidelines, and you'll be amazed at how quickly your leaves turn into living compost. I've seen this method work wonders in my own garden and in the gardens of friends and fellow Soil Stories subscribers. One gardener told me she turned a mountain of oak leaves into beautiful compost in just a few weeks using this technique. Another said her vegetable beds have never looked better since she started using compost tea on her leaf piles. The results speak for themselves: healthier soil, happier plants, and less yard waste going to the landfill. So, there you have it. The secret to turning dry leaves into living compost overnight is as simple as a bucket of compost tea. Give it a try in your own garden and watch the magic happen. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share soil stories with your fellow gardeners. Together, we can build healthier soil and a greener world, one leaf at a time. Thanks for watching and happy composting.